Greetings and salutations of peace. Following the coronation of the Emperor Haile Selassie, Joseph Nathaniel Hibbert, along with Leonard Howell, Archibald Dunkley, and Robert Hines, founded the Rastafari movement. Shortly afterwards comes the origin of the Nyabingi. In this discourse, we will present to you the origin of the Nyabingi and its influence. We will reveal the mystery of the Nyabingi. The Rastafari, the Nyabingi, was a prophecy and a command. We want you to look at the influence of the Nyabingi that influenced the reggae music. The code of the Nyabingi was in the music of Bob Marley. The one word code was jamming. Jamming describes or depicts a form of communications. We wish to note that the forefathers, i.e. Joseph Hilbert, Leonard Howell, and Archibald Dunkley, Robert Hines, were mystics. They were Masons. And when we say Mason, we mean from the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. They had knowledge of the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. And when we say Masonic, we mean Maya, as in Olmec, sound vibration. We're dealing with sound vibration. Nyabingi, we're dealing with sound vibration. Note the origin comes from the Congo, and it was written that a queen from the Congo ruled the Congo with the mysteries, with the science of sound vibration, with the sounds of the drum, sound vibration. So we note that the pyramids, going back to the ancient Masonic structures, or the ancient Maya Masonic structures, that the Great Pyramids were created and built by sound vibration. Everything was created by sound vibration. In the beginning, it's written in a place that we could see, the Bible, that when the Lord comes, he will come with a shout. Everything is created with sound vibration. As we will discover in this discourse, the origin and meaning of the Nyabingi ceremony, or better yet, the Nyabingi rite. Yes, the Nyabingi is a Masonic rite or ritual. We must note that the Bible itself is allegories, metaphors, and similes, and every noun has a deeper level of meaning. So you might say, how is it possible that this is so? So we must understand how reggae influenced everything, how the Nyabingi first, the rhythm, the sound of the drum, the science of the drums, influenced the young adherents of the Rastafari, and they began to sing, to make this music and put it on a different level called reggae music. And that reggae music now, if you look in Japan, you'll see the influence of that. Even the dance hall has influenced the Japanese culture, the Chinese culture. Every corner of the world, down in Havasupai, Arizona, even in foreign lands, everybody's been influenced. But note most specifically the Russian musicians, or the Bobo Ashanti in Chile. Notice how they are propagating Rastafari, even though they're not black people. That spirit, like in the voodoo cults, they say that there's a term, tail my horse or ride my horse. Now, if we notice The Hogan in the voodoo priests called Hogans, how they dance, how they move, how they evoke and invoke the Lao, the spirit, how they invoke or evoke the spirit, the Lao. They move in a certain type way, uh, doing rituals. So when the Rastafari skank, it's the priest evoking the spirit, and the spirit possesses him, and that's what that riding horse is. The spirit is riding the person, so they become possessed by the drum beats, possessed by the music, possessed by the chants, and the spirit, like the church say, the Holy Ghost gets in them. So this Holy Ghost, or this spirit, or this Lao, has reached all throughout the world, even though some people just say, for instance, in China or Japan, how they're trying to capitalize off of reggae and Rastafari to merchandising, making big money. Even though they're trying to capitalize off of it, it has influenced them. The spirit, they are possessed by this spirit. So, same thing happened when Brother Leonard and Dunkley and when they started the movement, they understood the science. The science. So Haile Selassie, the emperor himself, was a part of the Masonic order. So what we're dealing with, in essence, is a spiritual system that was designed that in the end times give us a mechanism or a vehicle, like they say, the Ark of the Covenant. Now, in all reality, the covenant is the agreement that the ancient people that built the pyramids made with us, the children of light, children of Israel, however you want to say it, however you want to look at it. There was an agreement. They said, when it comes a time like this, in the end of time, same-sex marriages, when everything is an abomination, we will return and redeem you from the earth. So the esoteric part of this is that that promise was that we had to make a sound when the children of Israel, as it's written, when they cried out in unison, the gods or God remembered the covenant. So, and it says when Jesus returned, he will be returned with a shout. So as it was written in the Blackheart album, and all the musicians shall be there, players upon instruments at his feet. So we make this sound, was the Nyabingi, doom, doom. And we call down the elders, or some people call it the mothership, but the rapture is imminent. But we have to make this sound. So the Nyabingi was that code. So it was a prophecy written on the walls of time that was handed down from the ancient of days. Rastafari just didn't start in 1930. If we go all the way back into ancient Egypt and we look at the Namo tablets and all this type of thing, you will see Rasta's dreadlock priest leading the kings in procession. And so Rastafari is an ancient thing. It's like Yahweh. Rastafari is 4 syllables, YHVH, and the royal arch degree is what it's all about. It's about pronouncing the correct name of God. And once the correct name of God is pronounced, heaven and earth will shake. It's written in the Masonic Rite. So in essence, we're going to show you that that's what the Rastafari is all about. It is a sacred rite and ritual. Now, there has been infiltration by the hippie element, and some of those people are aware of the sacred rite of the Nyabingi. Perfect example, Burn Spear. I'm sure he's not conscious of this, but there was a song that was written. See, we're dealing with inspiration. So a lot of the brothers are not versed in the science of inspiration. So when you become inspired, you get this thought because you're breathing in air. Finer particles of the air called ether, the souls of beings going on and been going on for thousands of years. So you become inspired by information that's been sent to you on the etheric way. So you might pick up your pen and you might start writing. Door peep shall not enter, while wise men stand sitting, sipping from the cup of peace. So you might write that down, and that might become a hit. But what has happened, somebody else hear it and understand, it's God talking to them. It's Rastafari talking to them. It's Jah talking to them. So Jah came through our music. So the Nyabingi started off. Bob Marley is a prophet. He's a prophet. A lot of people don't want to deal with that, but he is the prophet. He was given the ring from Haile Selassie, the same ring that Solomon wore from the lineage of Jesse, David, Solomon, Enki, and all those people, Anunnaki, pass it all down. Bob Marley wore that ring, so Bob Marley was a king of the Rastas. So there was a reason why he got that ring. It wasn't coincidental, maybe synchronistic, but it wasn't coincidental that Marley wore that ring. So Bob Marley whispered this message, jamming into the ears of Stevie Wonder. So notice how things started off primitive. Brothers back up in the mountains, smoking their weed. Oh, God! Rastafari! That's some serious inspiration, symbolic of ancient wise men. And this energy goes out into the world. This young brother Bob Marley picks it up, and it just inside of him, it's deep. You've been in the hills of Jamaica. The spirit is alive. So he picks it up and it makes him a world star, regardless of the commercial thing about it, regardless of the white boys tried to exploit it. It was the spirit of the Nyabingi that made Bob Marley a star, and plus the subtle majesty of his imperial majesty, the Emperor Haile Selassie. So there was a world created unto him by his subtle majesty. We are his subjects. We loved him more than his family did. But that's a subtle energy. So Bob Marley spoke the word to Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder put it in his music in the 1980s, Master Blaster Jamming, which was the code. And in that music, we were given instructions to what to do in the end of time. So we want you to check this video out, and they want you to also check my teachings out at the Rastafari Mystery School, which is a blog that this discourse will be posted on. There's much controversy here. People don't want to believe this, but it's true. And as I was saying, the hippie element was when the Rastafari reached England, the hippie element came in, and there's a lot of people out there. Some of them even call themselves change agents, and they have deliberately tried to punk the movement out or take it to the hippie level. But this is a sacred rite, and ancient Egyptian, ancient Dogon, ancient Anunnaki sacred rite for our redemption. Like, come, we're going to chant down Babylon one more time. Bob Marley's music was scientific, whether we understood it or not. Perfect example was at the One Love Peace concert when Bob Marley and the two Jamaican politicians. Now, there were three men. Note, Bob Marley was in the middle, and there were two white boys. And he held their hands up like an arch. That's a symbol of the royal arch degree. Marley held his hand up. That was a Masonic rite of the royal arch degree. And when Marley got into the Holy Ghost, when the Holy Ghost hit Marley, Marley jumped up, and note his words, and it thundered and lightning, and the lightning flashed, and he heard a thunderclap. Pow! That was the energy, that was the vibration of Sirius that was showing us the power in that particular sacred rite. It has the power to unite. It has the power to call down the Holy Spirit. It has the power to call our ancient ancestors to come redeem us from all this madness that's fixing to happen. So we go to Revelations 12 in the Bible, and my work here on my blog explains it, how Revelation 12 talks about the sun-clad woman, and that scenario that was written in allegory, metaphors, and similes from the movements of the stars will be played out September 23rd, 2017. We have found literally in her crown there will be 12 stars above Virgo. So that sun-clad woman, which symbolizes Mary, is Virgo. So I'll put links in this work where you can go and read about that. And so Jupiter will be born. Jupiter, last month, Jupiter went into the womb of Virgo, and it will be there for 42 weeks, the gestation period of 9 months, which is about 42 weeks. And Jupiter will be born, which is the Messiah vibration. And it goes deeper than that. So the Bible is astrotheology. Me and Muta Baruka, we had an argument about this thing, and it's hard to get these old mindset rosters, these old fire-breathing Jew Rastafari rosters to understand this. I understand it. You know, it's no problem. It's going to happen regardless. But I'm just bringing this, some people might call it the New Age teachings, but we never had any teachers on this level in the Rastafari movement. Now that enough time has passed by, this information is coming out. Not taking anything away from the foundation. It is what it is. The foundation of Rastafari is the foundation. And without the foundation, I couldn't be. Without the foundation, the brothers in Chile couldn't be. Rastafari could not be worldwide if it wasn't for the foundation. But I'm just showing you the power in the foundation. So through this video, we can see the influence. So it's all about the Royal Arch degree, pronouncing the name of Jah correctly. So now it's time to clean house. All of the hippie element, it's got to go, because that's not what it's all about. So at the end of time, we got to call a spade a spade. This is a black man's redemption, like Marley was trying to say. It just got infiltrated because of commercialism, but that didn't change anything. Like you hear now, in the end, the truth will come out. This is a black man's redemption. Now, I'm saying anybody can serve God any way that they want to, but it's time for the real sages to stand, and we go chant down Babylon one more time. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. I am your brother, the Rastafari, Aital Aymanai. Yes, I am.
Everything come true, we got to be together. Yeah, yeah. And through the spirit of the Most High, His Imperial Majesty, and Brightly I Selassie, we're inviting to leading people of this land to be here, to shake hands, show the people that love them right, show the people that we're gonna unite. Show the people that we're all right. I show the people that everything is all right. What you doing? Cause I wanna send the matches right out there. I mean, I'm not so good at talking, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Well, I'm trying to say, could we have up here on stage here the presence of Mr. Michael Mann and Mr. Edward Seattle. Oh! We just want to shake hands and show the people that we're gonna meet them right. We're gonna unite. We're gonna meet them right. We got to unite. Get. The moon is
believe it, brethren. It seems as if Marley's dreams are coming true. Bobby's feeling the love of Jah as he invite Prime Minister Michael Manley and the opposition leader Edward Siaga on stage. Tell you, that was crucial.
I'm waiting. Hold on. Help us out, I pray. Good God Almighty, you know you mean I'm good. The moon is high over my head, and I gave my Lord the stairs. Lord, 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 Lord.
Find someone to clean up with these people, man. Rastafari is God Almighty with no apology. You know, and I'm not boasting, but so proud to know that God black. You know, just that, we just feel brave to know that God black. And you know, and though we black people, the suffering people, the first shall be the last and the last first. But I say, though we are the sufferers, today, God black, so we going to become a good people. Understand, skipper.
The lion of Judah shall break every chain. The lion of Judah shall break every chain. The lion of shall break every chain, give us your victory again and again. Conquering lion shall break every chain. Conquering lion shall break every chain. The conquering lion shall break every chain. Give us the victory again and again. The lion of Judah shall break every chain. The lion of Judah shall break every chain. The lion of Judah. Akramata come again. See your master, you come again. Background master, you come again. Slave master, you come again. I people were taken from Africa, down in the Caribbean, for they were born in Lincolnshire, on that slave ship. Akramasa, you come again. See your master, you come again. Akramasa, you come again. See your master, you come again.
It come from so far. We are Africa, so we are over here, sir. You understand? So coming from so far, it have to have a spiritual connection. Them really take I and I out of Africa, but them couldn't take Africa out, I and I said, you know?
The Nyabingi is thousands of years old. It's not a 100-year thing limited to Jamaica. If you will research Queen Muhumusa, who did not inaugurate but recalled the Nyabingi, like Haile Selassie also.
History of the Nyabingi comes from Queen Nyabingi, come from Kikezi, Uganda.
She was a great drummer, and she was a warrior queen. So, true, we use the drum, and we know that she was a great drummer. Play a drum for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
But the warrior queen, Nyabingi, is really where the idea came from.
She was a warrior lady, you know. We do a lot of fight physically on the battlefield to protect the tradition of black people, not even Rastafari and all, you know, but black people. That lady, as far as I know, is the one that comes for equal rights and justice to everyone, you know. And I could have a tradition, you know, by the name of Nyabingi.
Queen Nyabingi rise up against the colonial powers. She was a mystic. And it is said that she the defender of the poor and the oppressed. That's basically it. Just like Nyabingi order. Because in early Jamaica in 1920s, it was a colonial rule at that time. So Rastafari rise up through anti-colonial struggle of total oppression in the 1920s come right down to now. So we could easily identify with the struggles of Queen Nyabingi and relate it to Jamaica in that colonial era.
The Rastafari bridging them, so well, we use Nyabingi. At the time, they used to say Nyabingi means dead, the white oppressor. And after a while they changed it, the black and white oppressor.
In those days, Rastafari couldn't chant like here. It had to be in some deep bush. And it wasn't something built pretty like this. It was just a stick with a tarpaulin. But it was somewhere where you had to really walk and go.
There was no special place that we used to chant. All of us come together and one virgin would say, you know, I man can host the groundation of your gates.
You know, so the next bingy they out of pit 4, and you would tell him, and he would tell somebody else, and then we'd reason together and say, when we going? So, well, it's Friday night, we're going, so where we going to meet? All right, make we meet downtown at 4 o'clock, and we take a bus, and groups would go together.
I would just go there like 2 or 3 days before, I would just chuck up a thing, I would just chant.
So you would hear the drums from a distance, and you know, say, are we getting close?
Every other parish, every other time, gathering time. So each parish would get a bingy this month and whatever the month is. that will be a celebration month.
Have you ever heard 2,000 people singing? Okay. Well, that is how the Rastafari liberty was.
At night time, we'd go check Nyabingi, you know, and it was, you can't find words for that feeling because it was totally different.
You get herb, food, care, advice, counsel, free heart.
It was so great that it was surprising. I never knew Rasta worship in such a holy manner.
It's like a spiritual blitz, you know? Something you never encountered before, you encounter it for the first time. It's like a mind-blowing situation.
Of a mystical thing. It made me feel like I'm in the beginning of time again, you know? And it really took my mind off of the pressures of the world.
You know, we just sit here, you know, we just gone like for 3 days, you know, 4 days, you know, with the Nyabingi grounds, you know, and, you know, we eat, we sleep, you know, we're fresh there.
Really put my mind back in time where, you know, it's just about praising the Almighty and not so much caught up in the world. It's like a break from the world.
My first experience at Bingi was like similar to astral traveling. It's a vibration that brings you to a celestial height. You know, you see me? You see me? So it brings you to the pinnacle of your highest point of yourself, the highest point of your intelligence.
The drumming, the mood, the singing was nothing I've ever experienced before, and it has never left me. I have always said to myself that later on in life, I have to go settle back into some of that. You know, it's a spiritual inspiration that it needs the experience of every human being.
Many things, Nyabingi is really a university because you learn how to hunt in terms of going to get the firewood for the fire. You learn about preparation in terms of getting the grounds ready. You learn about family in terms of sharing. You learn about togetherness. You know, so you know, what Nyabingi can teach you is a movement of life.
So it's a self-building, more ironical, in tune with iration.
It's a spiritual vibe, and you know, so it's a spiritual growth.
If you're a weak person, you can stay into a bingi. If you're not a spiritual person, because the fire key is there, it's a purging fire. So the bingi alone, you have a fire at the altar, which is inside, and you have a fire outside. Bingi is a cleansing fire. Plus the beats now make your soul, your spirit lift to a different level. And you look internally. Whatever hatred or bad feelings you have, you come in a bingi, that's gone.
There's something about the drumming, you know, that wakes up something internally.
The connection is there, spiritual, you know, and if you check our stack, it's really the King's music, you know. Because if you trod anywhere else in the world, it's only I and I alone make drum that way there. So Nyabingi drum is a special drum.
It's 3 drums: bass, funde, and the repeater. The repeater is a sharp instrument that teaches one, that tells you what's going on. The funde is one that tells you to do good. Do good to mankind, do good to everybody.
So this one just hold the funde, it's saying do good to the people.
But the bass is a heartbeat, a thunder bass. It's a 2 big bass, not a small one, a massive bass. So when it raises your consciousness, raises your blood pressure, if we have a low blood pressure, gone up. The 3 instruments reminds you of who you are and where you came from, your Africanness.
out of Nyabingi really create reggae. You know, the 1-2 heartbeat there. That's where, you know, reggae really comes from.
It's the beginning of the music that, you know, the Bingi, the Nyabingi order, you know, is where all of the music come from, you know. What them call heartbeat, the tuk-ku, tuk-ku, tuk-ku. So I play Nyabingi right there, so now so you can go there, you know. So that's where the whole thing come from.
The Nyabingi drumming, you know, the 1-2 heartbeat drop, that was the development of rocksteady leading into reggae, where the music kind of slowed down from the fast up-tempo of mento and ska till it slows down with the rocksteady and then even gets slower with the reggae.
Nyabingi rhythm, is the rhythm.
Heartbeat.
Yeah, it's the truth. Rastafari music. Which from that music come all music.
I will go and read Psalm 9 with the understanding that this is a coronation psalm. That when His Majesty was crowned 1930, this is what everyone chants. I will praise Thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all Thy marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in Thee. I will sing praise to Thy name, O Thou Most High. When mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish.
Well, Brethren used to create chant, but none of these chant was used out of the Bible. Because a lot of Rasta and in those times was influenced by the Bible.
The chant which they sung were chants which I knew from the Baptist church and knew from the revival camp. You see, choruses and things like those, hymns, sankis. I knew all of these hymns and sankis because my grandpa was a deacon.
A lot of the chant them changed around the words, but it's the same sankey, the same Bible doctrine. I wasn't a Bible person, because I never know Rastafari to read and write. I know it to the genes and spirituality. I was from that time to this time, and the same time is I same one. So a lot of one, even the Rastafari movement, even until now, a lot of bridging them was influenced through the Bible. You know, and this Bible, I never say Haile Selassie I nine.
Nyabingi is a path, it's like a road. You know, the chanting is like a road that takes you someplace. Based on how genuine you are to the chanting, you know, that's like a fuel. You know, some people more into it than others. The persons that are more into it go far on the journey.
Time when people gather, something negative usually come out of it. The fact that the concept of coming together just to do good, no buying, no selling, no rush, no timing, no nothing. Just gather, show love, share food, eat, praise the Most High, and then you go back into the world.
Anyone that knows or has experienced years of Nyabingi life will only tell you about pleasure, about happiness, and about love. The warm current of love that Rastafari share.
I don't know how the one them see it still, but we have to just learn to love ourselves. And if we love ourselves, everything will come after.
Grandma, say you come again. Slave master, you come again. I people were taken from Africa, down in the Caribbean, for they were born in Lincoln.
So, knowing the truth of Rastafari, we cannot no longer accept a kinky reggae party. Rastafari is real. Rastafari is a black man's redemption. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call the Holy Master Blaster jamming. I am your brother, the Rastafari, Aital Aymanai. And in closing here, I would like to acknowledge the influence of the Nyabingi. It's a very powerful thing. I mean, we have read stories where sound vibration lift tons of rock, tons of stone, and put the pyramids in place. It's time for the Nyabingi to be directed by the sages, directed by the enlightened ones. We're at a time now, we have Trump in office, and we're fighting against powers, principalities of powers in high and low places, spiritual powers, so we can no longer neglect and look over our spiritual science. As I said before, there has been a hippie element, one love element that has came in, and now people see Rastafari just watered down, cream in the coffee, one love thing. It's not all about fun. I mean, that those days are over. Everybody has been exposed. I mean, it's a time of revelation. So now we're at the end of time where the sign is in the sky of the sign of Virgo. Virgo is closely tied into, woven into this nation's capital, and we have reached the destiny of this abomination. So as the prophet Bob Marley has said already, we free our people with music. Yes, I am.
The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Is the Lord, and the fullness thereof. Come, let us magnify the Lord. God your name is worthy to be praised.
Selassie Jah.
Damos gracias, siendo esta una tarde, ¿no?, de celebración, de júbilo, momento de cantar, ¿no? Continúo con el libro del Salmo número 1, ¿no? Y poderosos ángeles seguirán para manifestar y declarar la gloria de nuestro Dios, ¿no? Y continuamos con el Salmo número 1 del poderoso Rey David. Bienaventurado el varón que no anduvo en consejo de malos, ni estuvo en camino de pecadores, ni en silla de escarnecedores se ha sentado. Antes en la ley de Jehová está su delicia, en su ley medita de día y de noche. Será como el árbol plantado junto a arroyos de agua que da su fruta en su tiempo y su hoja no cae. Todo lo que hace prosperará. Así los malos que son como el fuego que arrebata el tiempo. Por tanto no se levantarán los malos en el juicio, y los pecadores en la congregación de los justos. Porque Jehová conoce el camino de los justos, mas la senda de los malos perecerá. Yeyofia.